Let's solve this problem together. We have a squared minus b squared to be equal to 64. We'll name this equation 1. We have ab to be equal to 8. We'll name this equation 2. And we want to find a plus b. So let's begin. Now for equation 1, when we have a squared minus b squared, this is equal to a minus b times a plus b. So a squared minus b squared becomes a minus b times a plus b to be equal to, we have 64 here. So this is equal to 64. Since we are asked to find a plus b, let a plus b be equal to x. And we have a plus b here. So this becomes, we have a minus b. Our a plus b is x. So this is times x. And is equal to 64. Dividing both sides by x, we have that a minus b is equal to 64 over x. So from here, we can square both sides. Now we have a minus b all squared, which is equal to, we have a minus b all squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So this equation becomes a minus b squared is this. We have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared to be equal to, we have 64 over x all squared, which is the same as 64 to the power of 2 all over x squared. But let's recall our equation 2. We have ab to be equal to 8. So we have ab here. We now have a squared minus 2. Our ab is 8 plus b squared is equal to 64 to the power of 2 all over x squared. So let's factor this together. To have a squared plus b squared, we have 2 times 8, which is minus 16, is equal to 64 to the power of 2 over x squared. So this simply means that our a plus b all squared, which is this, is equal to, we have 64 to the power of 2 over x squared. Our minus 16 moving over becomes plus 16. So we can call this equation 3. So let's recall that our a plus b all squared is equal to a squared plus b squared plus 2ab. So we have a squared plus b squared plus 2. Our ab is equal to 8. So we have a squared plus b squared plus 16. That means our a plus b all squared is equal to this. But our a plus b is equal to x. Our a plus b is equal to x. So this is a plus b. We have x. We have power 2 is equal to, we have a squared plus b squared plus 16. We have that a squared plus b squared is equal to x squared minus 16. So we'll call this equation 4. Now let's recall equation 3, where we have a squared plus b squared to be equal to 64 to the power of 2 all over x squared plus 16. So we'll be equating these two equations together. A squared plus b squared is the same with the left hand side here. We'll equate the right hand side to have, we have x squared minus 16 x squared minus 16 is equal to, we have 64 to the power of 2 all over x squared plus 16. So we have that x squared minus 16, this moving over, we have minus 16, is equal to 64 to the power of 2 all over x squared. So we have x squared minus 32 to be equal to 64 squared all over x squared. So from here we can cross multiply to have x squared times x squared minus 32 is equal to 64 to the power of 2. So when we open up this bracket, this times this, we have x to the power of 4 minus, we have x squared times this, we have 32x squared, which is equal to 64 to the power of 2. So our x to the power of 4 is the same as x squared further raised to the power of 2 minus, we have 32x squared. Our 64 to the power of 2, we can move it over to here to become negative 64 squared, and is equal to 0. From here we have x squared here. Let our x squared be equal to n. So we have x squared here, we have n, and we have to the power of 2 minus 32. Our x squared is n. So we have 64 to the power of 2, which is 4096, and is equal to 0. To have a to be equal to 1, b is equal to minus 32, and c is equal to minus 4096. And to find our n, we have that n is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So we'll be imputing the values of a, b, c to have n, which is equal to minus, our b is minus 32, plus or minus the square root of our b minus 32 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 4096. We have all over 2 times 1. So we have n to be equal to negative and negative, we have 32, plus or minus, we have square root, this to the power of 2, we have 1024. We have negative and negative here, which will give us positive. Multiplying this by this, we have 16,384, and is all over 2. So we have n to be equal to 32 plus or minus, adding this up, we have 17,408 all over 2. Our n is equal to 32 plus or minus, we can split this figure to have 64 times 16 times 17 all over 2. So n is equal to 32 plus or minus, we have root 64 times root 16 times root 17 all over 2. So n is equal to 32 plus or minus square root of 64, we have 8 times 4, and root 17 all over 2. So this gives us n is equal to 32 plus or minus 8 times 4. We have 32 root 17 all over 2. So n is equal to 32 divided by 2. We have 16 plus or minus 16 root 17. Now from here, let's recall that our x squared is equal to n. Our n here becomes x squared is equal to 16 plus or minus 16 root 17. Let's take the square root of both sides. So this cancel out this. We have x is equal to plus or minus, we have the square root of, now 16 is common here, we can factor 16 out to have 1 plus or minus root 17. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 16 here is 4, and we have root 1 plus or minus root 17. But let's recall that our x is equal to a plus b. So a plus b is equal to plus or minus 4 times root 1 plus or minus root 17. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our solutions.